Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good night. Wherever you are, whenever you're seeing this, I hope you are good. So guys, today we're going to be talking about the spiritual to-do list before this year ends. Everything that you need to do before 2024 ends to make sure that you are stepping into the next year with the best energies, the most cleansed energies, the most powerful intention, the spiritual to-do list that you need to get into before we enter next year. So yes, let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we get into all of the great juicy tea from today's video, we're going to be shouting out our sponsor, Ana Luisa. You guys know I love Ana Luisa pieces. I'm wearing all Ana Luisa right now. So my new pieces, as always, you guys know I always have new pieces to show you guys, are these earrings right here. I'm going to be showing you guys a close-up as always, and then I have these as well, which are so cute. You guys know I'm a jewelry girl, an accessories girl. Ana Luisa is one of my favorite jewelry brands, if not my favorite jewelry brand. They've definitely won me over with their quality, with their customer service, with their entire experience from beginning to end. They're having a massive sale, so you guys want to make sure that you can get into it. If you click down below to the link in the description, you can save up to 35% on your order, okay? So make sure you guys get into it. All of the pieces have a 2-year warranty. It's fast and free shipping. There's so many different pieces that you can choose from and mix and match and create a beautiful set for you or for anyone in your life. So make sure you guys get into it and shop for this holiday season. They have all of the viral staple pieces that everybody is loving right now. So make sure you guys get into it. You guys have already seen these rings. I have this necklace and of course this pendant as well. And these are my new earrings that I have. You guys know I'm obsessed with gold jewelry that's actually gold, that stays gold, you know, that's cohesive, that can be mixed and matched with other pieces. So I love these pieces that I'm always wearing and rocking them, as you guys can see. So make sure you guys get into it and shop down below in the description. Remember, you guys can save up to 35% on your order, so get into it. And thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video and blessing me with these amazing pieces as always. Make sure you guys check down below to shop. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right guys, let's talk about it. I don't want to spend too much time editing out me glancing at my computer, but my computer's right here, okay? These are the notes that I need for the to-do list. So let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to do, of course, a releasing ritual for 2024. I always think it's a good thing to kind of go one day at a time throughout your life, honestly, and think about what you're experiencing, what's bringing you strife, what's bringing you grief, what's bringing you sadness, anger, frustration. Like, it's so good to tap into those not so happy, comfortable emotions that we're experiencing, because those are the things that stick with us. Those are the things that make it difficult for us to move forward. So we really want to do a releasing ritual before we get to the beginning of 2025, so we can just think about everything that we could possibly be holding on to from 2024. Of course, we want to get in depth with the things that we've been through, the things that we've experienced, and the things that have been re-triggered in us. You know, I feel like we've had a lot of learning opportunities this year. We've had a lot of things come to the surface, and we've been pushed really far out of our comfort zone this year, definitely. And if you haven't been pushed out of your comfort zone yet, then don't think that the year is over, because it's not. You know, there's still time. And we know that the actual new year isn't until spring anyway. So I can still, you know, I want us to continue to expect to be stumbling a little bit, you know, just when January hits, it doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to be in a new space. So you don't necessarily have to do all of these things before January 1st, but you definitely want to do it before spring. And I definitely think these are some good things to do before January 1st, and do it again when you get to January before spring, because you're going to be learning differently in 2025 than you've been learning in 2024, even though we're still going to be in winter. There's a different collective energy when the new year starts, and that affects how we operate and change in that second part of our winter. We low-key kind of have two different seasons of winter. We have the holiday winter, and then we kind of have like the slow kind of dreadful, you know, we want to be in this new space, but it's hard to be in this new space because it's still cold and everybody's still broke from the holidays, you know, like having all of this pressure to be new and step into new and make these new investments and start these new chapters, but also still having, you know, the big responsibility of the, you know, holidays on our shoulders and everything else that we've been dealing with. It really makes the beginning of the year difficult. It makes the beginning of the year hard. So it's really good to work on releasing before we step into a new calendar year, because these things are already going to be knocking on your door in January and February. I mean, most people spend the beginning of the year thinking about everything they didn't do last year, and that's going to be something we're going to get into as well. But you want to release. I literally would tell you to put, I release everything I'm holding on to that happened in 2024. And you can wait and save this and do this, you know, as it gets closer to the end of the year, but release everything everything that you're carrying with you, everything that you're carrying with you that is influencing you negatively or has the potential to, you want to release it. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll never think of it again, or that you have amnesia. But what it does mean is that you're going to be in a position to grow specifically. It does mean that you're going to be in a position to think differently and feel differently and just, tackle these issues in a different way that's really going to give you what you need. And that's what you want. We don't want to be tackling these issues in a way that, we're crying every day and we can't even be honest with the therapist and we can't even stick to the journaling and the meditation is too hard. We want to give ourselves a running start. And when you release, when you let go, you really give yourself a running start in that healing. And that's what we want for the beginning of next year, because it's not going to just be a brand new slate immediately. We're going to have to work our way up to that and continue to go through the end of this winter season, feeling good about ourselves, feeling strong, feeling powerful. So doing some releasing work at the end of this year is really going to be great. Next, you want to spiritually cleanse your home. I don't know when the last time y'all pulled out the sage and the Palo Santo and the cedar and the Herba Santa and the lavender incense and the Florida water. When was the last time y'all pulled that out? I don't know when we've gotten into it last, but just like scripting. You remember in 2020 when everybody was scripting in a 3-3-3 manifestation method and everybody was doing full moon baths and people are still doing that stuff, but not so much. I feel like there's definitely been a falling off of how many people are really practicing spiritual work all the time. I feel like people do still practice spiritual work, but not like we're used to seeing, So I think it would be really, really, really good to spiritually cleanse your home, very intentionally, and spiritually cleanse your home. The next thing I have on here is declutter. So let's knock both of these out with one. Get rid of old clothes, get rid of old food, get rid of old decorations that you don't want anymore, get rid of old anything, old books, old journals, old paper, old stuff that you don't need. Get rid of it. Declutter and make your space more suitable for where you're going. That's the next thing. That's number 4. Make your space more suitable for where you're going. So these are a few things that are all compiled together. So the spiritual cleanse is so you can let go of any negative energy. If you spend time crying in your home, if you spend time being pissed in your home, if you spend time crying yourself to sleep at night, not having an attitude, walking around your home and just being disgusted, cleanse that energy. Cleanse that energy. You can open up your doors and windows and do some sound bowls. You can pray over your space. You can wash everything with some Florida water. You can make you some holy oil and pray over it and use that to bless your space. If you want to use sage or you want to use Palo Santo or Herba Santa or cedar or any of those things, you can do that. However you want to cleanse your space, get into it and speak love over your space. Speak happiness over your space. Speak, joy and peace and healing and success and protection and physical wellness over your space, and be intentional about it. Because whatever you've been walking around stressing off, whatever you've been having nightmares about, all of these things you've been experiencing, those things are still there. Those energies are still around you 24/7. And that's why it can be such a big drag in the beginning of the year. So make sure that you spiritually cleanse your space and declutter. Get rid of stuff that you can't fit anymore. Get rid of stuff that you don't use. Just declutter and get rid of stuff. If you know that you've been needing to deep cleanse, if you know you've been needing to do something like that, get into it. Now is the time to really be intentional about your space and dedicate that time back to you. And this is why we want to do this. Not just because we should be doing it, because we should, but you also want to do it because you have to set the right message to God, to yourself, to the universe. You have to let God know that you're ready to maintain what needs to be maintained, to take care of your blessings, to, be a good steward over the things that you're going to have. Like, you have what it takes to pull yourself together and declutter. You have what it takes to pull yourself together and clean up and move some things around and get rid of some stuff finally and choose to do some things differently, where maybe it could be easy to keep doing stuff how you've been doing it, but you want to challenge yourself to be in a different space. That's what we need to do. We need to challenge ourselves right now. So if it's difficult for you to let go of stuff, then you need to let go of stuff. Whatever it's difficult for you to let go of, then you need to ask yourself, why is it so hard for you to let go of those things? Because as hard as it is for you to let go, it's just as hard for things to come in. Next year is going to be the year of things coming into your life. Things are going to be coming into your life, and whatever is still in your life is going to be a representation of what you want to come in. So if you got a lot of mess in your life, expect more mess next year. If you have a lot of clutter, expect more clutter. Expect to be overwhelmed with those things. Because think about this. If you're a very cluttered person and you like a lot of knickknacks and a lot of random stuff, if you're a bit of a hoarder but not enough to be on a television show, you know what I'm saying? And you get a raise where you're getting 3 times your salary, your space is going to get more cluttered. If you're the type of person that when you're dealing with loss, you develop, an unhealthy attachment to things. If you step into more loss, what are you going to do? Next year is really going to be the time where we're presented with a lot of issues that we have. And if you haven't been working on how to cope with those things, you're going to be really, really having a hard time. So we need to make sure that we are decluttering, that we are getting rid of stuff, that we are being intentional about only keeping stuff that we're using. If you have a bunch of journals and you've written out a 1 page in all of them journals, you better figure out what you want to do with that stuff. Figure out what you want to do with the stuff that's taking up space in your home. Move it around, donate it, sell it, figure out what you want to do with it, but be intentional about it. Because what I have next on here, make your space suitable for what you want next. Whatever you want next in your life, make your space suitable for that. Make your space welcoming, make it open, make it joyful, make it exciting, make it your safe space, make it your paradise. Whatever you need and whatever you're looking to attract, make your space be a reflection of that. Set intentions for your friendships. This is a really, really, really big one, because I think this is something that we think about, but I don't know if it's something that we think about necessarily at the end of the year. I know we cut a lot of people off and so that we're not bringing people into 25 or whatever. But I think we should be very, very intentional about the type of friendships we have and also what we want from these friendships. So think about what you want in each friendship. Think about the friends you have in your life, the actual people, their names, and ask yourself, how do you want to see these friendships grow? What do you want to see between you and this person? How do you want to see this friendship bless you? How do you want to be able to guide this person? How do you want them to be able to guide you? Be intentional about the connections that you have and how you want to help somebody, how you want to steer them on the right path, how you want to bring the blessings around so both of you step into something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell my best friend that I get so excited when good stuff happens to her because I know something good is about to happen to me too. Like, I love having people in my life where I feel like our blessings are connected and where I feel like God blesses us as a team. Like, God looks out for us as a team. God brings us opportunities as a team. So really set intentions for your team, because regardless if you want to walk alone or not, or if you're, an introverted extrovert or what have you, whatever you want to call yourself, you're a person. And if you have people attached to you in any way, shape, or form, their relationship to you makes them a part of your orbit. So the things that you do, the things that you say, if something good were to happen to you, if something bad were to happen to you, they're going to be affected by those things because they're a part of your network. You brought this person into your life, no matter how isolated you are, how shy you are, or whatever. You bring people into your life. And if you don't set intentions for how you want these connections to become, most of the time, the other person is setting intentions. Because if you don't know what you want from somebody, please believe they know what they want from you. I guarantee you the situations that you were in, the friendships that you get into, or even the people you date. Have you ever just stumbled into a connection with somebody and then you realize like, oh, wow, like, I didn't think this person was trying to take advantage of me. They were trying to do this. They were trying to get this from me. They were trying to use me for this. And you're like, I didn't even think we were in that type of connection, but that's how they saw you. They wanted to be close to you just for that. So set those intentions so you know what your team is, you know who your team is, you know what your team is supposed to be doing for you, you know what kind of team you have. Set those intentions so you're able to see that stuff and, know how you want to navigate moving forward with your team. Also, do some inner child work, reflection in a mirror. This is a really, really powerful inner child meditation that I put together when I did my Conversations with Your Inner Child group course. And in this meditation, you basically envision yourself as a child version of you. And you envision yourself in like the room of your dreams, like the Barbie, the Bratz, the race car, whatever you liked as a kid, whatever kind of room you wanted, you envision yourself in that room of your dreams. And you see yourself in your favorite outfit, and you just see yourself as like the happiest, most free, most satisfied little version of yourself, childhood version of you. And then you have a conversation with that person. You figure out what this person needs. You figure out how this person feels, what makes them feel beautiful, what makes them happy, what makes them feel successful, what makes them sleepy, what makes them anxious, what makes them afraid. Our inner child is the reason that we're still here. That little scared version of you where you felt like you didn't know nothing and you didn't have the support and you didn't have this and didn't have this. That person is the only reason you're here. If they gave up, you wouldn't be here. So the strongest part of us is that. It's the smallest part of us. So I really think doing an inner child meditation, just like I mentioned, envision yourself as your inner child, sit down and have a conversation with you. and literally ask these specific questions. What makes me happy? What do I need to feel the most comfortable? The stuff that's surrounding me, why does this make me happy? And how can I do this in my own home? How can I make my own home feel like my dream room? Or can I give myself my dream room? You want to make sure that you don't ever stop spoiling yourself. You don't ever stop catering for yourself. And talking to your inner child will let you know exactly what you need. It will let you know what you're suffering with, what you're afraid of, what you're battling, what your insecurities are, what makes you uncomfortable. If you're even able to face your inner child, there's so much that you can learn about yourself and about your healing and about where you are in your healing once you have a conversation with your inner child. So that's definitely going to be something good to do before the end of the year. Also, forgive yourself. Make peace. Make peace with whatever mistakes you feel you've made this year, and then make a plan to do better and act like you've forgiven yourself. If you cheated on somebody and you've forgiven yourself for that, stop treating yourself like you a liar, like you no good, like you just a cheat. Stop treating yourself like that if you've already forgiven yourself from that and you decided you were going to be better and do better. I think what makes it hard for us to forgive ourselves is because maybe we don't really believe that we can change, or we don't believe that we're worthy of forgiveness, or we can't believe that we made the mistake in the first place. But none of that matters. Whether you're worthy of forgiveness or not, sometimes you have to forgive yourself before you decide you're worthy of it. You might not think that you're worthy of forgiveness for certain things that you do, but regardless if you forgive yourself or not, it's not going to change what happened. It's not going to change what's been done. It's not going to change anything. Forgiving yourself allows you to sleep a little bit better. It allows you to love yourself more. It allows you to make sure that people treat you with respect. It allows you to believe in yourself and have faith in yourself and trust yourself and want the best for yourself. And when you aren't in a space where you can believe in yourself and trust yourself, and you can see who you are and what you're supposed to be doing and where you're supposed to be going, you'll let anybody do anything to you. And if you're vulnerable, if you're weak-spirited, if you're weak-minded, if you're weak in heart, if you're naive in heart, it's going to be very, 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 and by naive in heart, if you're ignoring red flags because you just want people around you, if you're being crazy, you're going to be fighting for your life next year. You're going to be fighting for your life next year, because if you've been noticing, ever since 2020, this decade has really just been one of sight. It's been one of sight. It's been one of multiplication as well. It's like if somebody's been bad, they about to get real bad. If somebody's good, then they about to get real good. If you've been blessed and God been taking care of you, then God is about to really show up and show out in your life next year. But if you've been bad, if you've been nasty, if you just, like the people that have been bad, their bad is going to get to another level. So if you've typically been a victim of people who lie, who steal, who cheat, who do this and this, you need to get your boundaries together. You need to forgive yourself and accept yourself and make peace with whatever is making you accept that type of treatment, because you do not want to be one of the gazelles left in the pasture when it comes next year, because you're gonna be fresh pickings for all of the people that are gonna be running rampant, feeling however they're feeling. This year has been something none of us could have predicted in terms of stuff coming to the light. 2020 was something that none of us could have predicted. None of us could have predicted anything that's happened in this year. Everybody has been gagged about what's been happening. And it's happening on such an extreme level, because, a lot of people were talking about the election. And people were talking about who was going to win, and a lot of psychics were doing readings about who was going to win. Some people were saying this person was going to win. Some people were saying this person was going to win. And everybody was like, well, what does this mean? What about the people that predicted that somebody else was going to win? Like, what does this mean? I think that everybody is going to be in a space where they're like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And if you are not connected with yourself and not connected with what you need, if you're allowing other people to control you, if you're just taking somebody else's word and you're like, whoa, well, I don't have to worry about that again because that's what they said, next year is going to be a difficult year for you. I think this year was our year to understand that we need to trust ourselves, maybe more than we trust anybody else. We need to listen to ourselves and listen to our judgment first. That's going to be really, really big. Next, asking yourself, what haven't you done that you've wanted to? I always think it's good to just reflect on, okay, what goals haven't I met? What things haven't I done that I said I was going to do? What things haven't I made it to? What stuff have I just kind of let fall off? I feel like last fall, I was really, 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 really fighting for my life, like real bad. Last fall was crazy. So I feel like there were so many things that I wanted to do last fall that I feel like I'm kind of just getting the energy to do. And maybe you guys feel the same, but I think that it's important to ask yourself, like, okay, if I didn't do something, then why didn't I do it? And let me really, really try to figure out why. Like, let me figure out what's really at the root of me avoiding something that I know I might enjoy, or something that I know I might end up, being like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. What is causing this block for me? What is causing me to not feel like I can do it? What's causing me to, put myself in a space where I'm feeling uncomfortable, where I'm not really sure which way I want to go? It's really, really important to just have that conversation with yourself. And this could be a journaling, this could be meditation, but really ask yourself, what is it that you haven't done? What haven't you done? And how can you get into those things? Have you not done something because it's not really what you want to do? Have you realized that some of your goals were just based off what other people wanted you to do, and now you're able to know exactly what you want? It's important that you just really, really get in tune with what haven't you done and why. Because there's certain things that we don't do because we're not ready, because we don't want to do it, because we don't have the time, because it's not really in alignment with our goals, because other things are more important to us. There's so many reasons why we put something on the back burner, and knowing that can help you make better goals. It can help you say, okay, well, I'm not going to tell myself to do stuff if it has this, this, and this, because usually when it has these three things, I know it's not going to get done. So the more we're able to know about why we do, what we care about, what we prioritize, and why, we're able to kind of create goals that work for us. And that is the thing that we're supposed to be doing, goals that work for us, a purpose that aligns with who we are and our strengths and our weaknesses. And the last thing, of course, is to do a spiritual bath. And this spiritual bath is going to be like the spiritual baths I've been mentioning, creating a basin, not creating a basin. You don't have to make the bowl. Getting a bowl for yourself and taking this bowl and filling it up with water, filling it up with dried, citrus fruits, putting some bay leaves in there, putting some cinnamon in there, putting some peppermint in there, putting some salt in there, putting some cardamom in there, putting some black pepper, putting some rose petals, some white rose petals, some lavender. You basically want to create this bath, this bowl or this basin with any elements that you want. And I want you guys to be very intentional about everything that you're doing. When you're cleansing, when you're decluttering, you want to be in prayer. You want to be saying affirmations. You want to be, thinking, breathing, feeling, saying, what you want to bring into your space when you're doing these things. Like, I'm doing this with the intention of making myself more organized, bringing more clarity to my life. Whenever you're creating this spiritual bath, be very intentional about what you feel you're going to need next year, and make sure you're able to speak that into the bath. Pray like you ain't never prayed before, honey. Pray over the bath that you're creating, because whenever you're creating a spiritual bath or holy oil or anything like that, the power that you give to something is going to be how strong it is, right? Because you're praying over it, that God hears your prayers and, infuses this with his blessings. That's literally what you're doing. So you have to really believe what you're saying, and you have to really be focused on what you're saying, and really be fervently in prayer when you're asking for certain things to, come over you and change your life and step you, into a new direction. So yeah, create this spiritual bath for yourself and dunk it on yourself in threes. So dunk 1/3, then the second third, and then the last third of it on yourself. And while you're doing this, I would say continuously be in prayer, be saying those affirmations as you're doing it, and really, 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 really feel good about it. Feel good about it, and continue to speak those things over yourself as you're moving forward. I would say for the next 3 or 4 days, you can do, a spiritual bath for 3 days in a row. You can even do something for 7 days in a row if you would like. But give yourself, a intentional cleansing. Give yourself an intentional cleansing. And I always think it's best to do your own cleansing, do your own work, speak what you want to speak over yourself, because you know what you need more than anybody else. So think about what you need the most, and make sure that you're catering to those needs and speaking very specifically to the things that you need in this life. Alrighty, guys, those are a few spiritual to-dos that you definitely want to make sure you get into as we step into next year. I'm not even going to tell you guys to really do any vision boards or focus on any of that type of stuff until we get to spring. When it comes spring, we're going to be getting into all of the manifestation methods and then some. But right now, in terms of creation, focus on setting intention, because intention is a two-way thing. Manifestation is a one-way thing, where we're just saying, God, this is what I want. and then we're just thinking about it. But setting intention says, I'm going to do this, and because I'm doing this, this is going to bring this into my life. It starts with action when we set intentions. So set as many intentions as you can. Intentions for when you clean, for when you talk to your friends, for when you're on the job, for when you pray, for everything. Set very clear intentions for yourself, for where you want to be, for where you know you're going, and be very specific about, what you're going to be wanting out of this next year. So yes, guys, let me know what are some things off of the to-do list that you're definitely going to be adding into your routine. I appreciate you guys as always. Again, make sure you guys check down below in the description box to shop Ana Luisa and get into these amazing pieces. Thank you, Ana Luisa, so much for sponsoring this video. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, they're doing a huge, massive sale for the holidays. With my code down below, you can save up to 35% on your order. So make sure you guys get into it down below in the description box. I appreciate you guys as always. I thank y'all, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Bless.